Honestly, the lighting kit has always been a strong point of JM Bricklayer, but with this model, they've really blown it out of the water. Hello, Ideas here with a new JM Bricklayer review of the mythical dragon tiles, Brick It Happen. This is like a art piece which includes elements of the LEGO Botanicals line, as well as some creature building using the Mixel system from JM Bricklayer, of course. I won't spend too much time on the box, but I will say JM Bricklayer has improved a lot of their graphic design. I really like the presentation here, as well as their updated logo, looking pretty swanky. In fact, I would like to join the Unzip Club, if you know what I'm saying. So, quickly taking a look at the bags. The thing that jumps out to me the most is all of the teal. I love teal. Look at all of this damn teal. To get this much teal, it's a steal. And in lots of really common parts as well. Really useful colors that LEGO doesn't do, as well as parts that don't exist within the LEGO system in teal. Honestly, it's pretty great. Lots of Keat oranges in here as well for the Bionicle fans. So teal, Keat orange, big Bionicle favorite staple colors. Lots of dark orange or hooky orange too. The instruction booklet comes separately packaged, which feels really nice, stops it from being crushed and crumpled. And then yeah, the little light kit comes separately packed now. Can't wait to crack this open. I really like the way they've changed their branding. The logo, the kit, all looks very, very nice. I love these little bags. The branding is really strong. Bold colors, more finger gloves. Love these for my fingies. And what's most interesting is this, a pair of actual metal tweezers. This feels very deluxe, even monogrammed with JM Bricklayer. This is used for applying stickers, of which in this set, thankfully, there are none. I think everyone who builds with LEGO and other brick building brands finds applying stickers frustrating and difficult, so it's pretty damn cool that JM Bricklayer gives you a sticker application tool, and one of such high quality. Also, there is an orange brick separator. Before we get to the set itself, I also just wanted to give the booklet a look through, because it is really high quality and nice. First things first, you've got some of these still images. LEGO tends to do these with their 18+ line. Nice to see JM Bricklayer picking that up as well. Some of the piece comparisons, how to use the brick separator and the sticker applicator tweezers, as well as the upgraded light kit. I'm going to circle back to that because there has been some great improvements there. Again, more about that later. A nice little color comparison chart as well, so perhaps not as experienced builders know not to get confused within the instructions. Of course, just a quick flick through here as well, and then some of the other JM Bricklayer products. I've actually reviewed a few of these already on my channel, so if you are interested in seeing some of these products and some of the features, feel free to head to my channel and check out the reviews playlist. Now, onto the actual model. And here we go. This is the final model. I've got the lights turned on here, obviously, so the lighting of the kit isn't fully on display. I will give you a look at that in a moment. It is very much an art piece versus anything you're supposed to necessarily interact with, so I'll give you just a kind of overall look at the model, and I'll give some close-ups as well. As you can see, the dragon takes center stage as it's navigating through this incredibly detailed foliage against the base that you build. With buildable art pieces, things can get a little bit boring, but I felt like there was a lot of variety within this build that kept things interesting. It's definitely a little bit more of an advanced build, and you need a little bit of patience. It is over 1,500 pieces, so it does take some time, but it's nice going from, again, building your standard frame, to the creature building, to the kind of botanicals building, and then just seeing how it all kind of layers together. The Asian dragon is a very neat build. As you can see, it's got a opposable jaw. It isn't independent from the frame, but it is built as one complete build before being attached. It actually has fully posable limbs with all of these mixel joints working together, all in teal. It is probably the most repetitive part of the build, as you have to build each of these body segments, all of which are printed together, so it requires some patience, but the final result is really cool. You end with this teal flame piece. The amount of posability you can get allows you for some unique poses, but you are somewhat locked to what is on the frame because it's an art piece. Being a primarily old-school LEGO builder and Bionicle fan, I don't tend to buy new sets, but as you know, when I do buy them, I tend to buy botanicals. You can see these in the background of my videos. So it's great having a lot of individual botanical style builds on this model. Lots of different varying flower designs and pieces of foliage are included throughout the model. Again, giving you that almost variety in builds where you've got a creature and you've got plants. And in this corner you can see where all the lighting kit wires go together into this new brick. Well, at least new to me. Here we see the model illuminated. Very cool looking. On camera, there's a lot of color bleed. Sorry, I don't have a better setup here. It looks a lot better in person. And honestly, having this up on the wall, having almost like a neon sign effect is kind of neat. Unfortunately, I can't hang it because I'm in a rental. The entire length of the dragon is illuminated as well as its eye. It looks like it's going to go eat some sort of glowing orb. I like how the biggest flower as well is illuminated. The only thing I would probably say is the far left of the model feels a little bare in terms of illumination compared to the right side. I almost wish there was one more light on the far left, but that is a nitpick. Honestly, the lighting kit has always been a strong point of JM Bricklayer, but with this model, they've really blown it out of the water. This is the biggest improvement I've seen. The most challenging element of building these JM Bricklayer models is how you had to incorporate the wires. That you require building on top of them, which if you went by, for example, Lego standards, would probably be considered illegal builds because you're essentially forcing wires through the gaps in pieces. JM Bricklayer has solved this by introducing two types of tile pieces. They have these unique channels. These allow the wires to fit through without squashing them, which is fantastic. That honestly makes the build 10 times better because you've essentially eliminated the most frustrating part of the JM Bricklayer builds to this point. Amazing innovation, 10 out of 10 improvement. Another massive improvement is the power brick. Historically, the other models, all the wires would connect into a motherboard that would then connect via a USB wire to a battery box. So you didn't have to connect it to a battery box because it's USB. You could connect it to whatever you wanted, connect it straight to a plug socket. However, this box is rechargeable. So I can hang this on the wall without having to connect it to a wire, unlike previous JM Bricklayer models. It comes with a USB-C charger, so you can charge up the brick, and the on and off switch is actually on the brick itself, so it doesn't have to be controlled away from the model. I've had this thing sitting around for 2 weeks. It's not been turned on continuously, and the charge is held. I don't know what the longevity of the charge is, but, you know, having some native charge is really great. The set gives you the instructions to either build a stand, which I've done here, and combine it with two other dragon models. On the website, this model comes in a color variant, which basically has the same build, however, with the teal and the Keyt orange swapped. So if you prefer that version, that is available. And if you don't build it with the stand, of course, you can hang it, use the same pieces that Lego art pieces have with the hanger Technic panels. And here's a look at the spare parts. Of course, this will vary whether or not you've built the combined version or the stand. Strangely, the piece count varies from the box and the instructions. I don't know which one is correct, but at a full price of $90, it's a very good deal. Even better right now, as you could save 22% off when buying from their site. So, what are my final thoughts on this set? It is a bit of a niche model. Not everyone wants a static model when it comes to brick building. I know people like functions and posability, etc., but if you see this product for what it is a art installation, and for that I find it quite an interesting build. The variety of having the botanical elements as well as the creature building elements, including building out the frame and doing a lot of unique and unorthodox building techniques. I think if you are an experienced builder, you will find this an interesting build. JM Bricklayer does specialize in adult-oriented building sets. There is a little bit of challenge involved here. Again, obviously follow the age guidelines, but you're not going to just rush through this because it's a mundane building experience. It is tailored for adults. They've also said this model is directly inspired by the British Museum, of course adding to the sort of the cultural, kind of artistic appeal of this thing, with a strong build experience with that sort of cultural background. You can get a sense of accomplishment once it's done. Everything comes together quite harmoniously. The lighting features that JM Bricklayer always puts in their sets are always a treat, and this is the best execution of that I have seen from them thus far. And the new way that they power the lights using an actual dedicated brick with an on-off switch, fantastic improvement. I mentioned before, the presentation of the box, the presentation of the booklet is really high quality. Again, the inclusion of the finger gloves, the tweezers, these little touches that make it a little bit more premium are really nice. If you're after an interesting build with lots of great, interesting techniques, with a very displayable model at the end, with lots of unique colors, and for a really good price, this might be for you. So I would go ahead and recommend this. This may be my favorite JM Bricklayer model that I've had the pleasure of reviewing to this point. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's it. Thanks.